welcome back to the Movieverse, your best place for movie and TV show content. I'm your co-host, Benji Babe, Benji
BMT.
This is
Kendrick,
a.k.a.
Kendrick Lamar.
And in other words, Ben and Ken, as we are also known by. Ben
yes.
and Ken. Keep it short and sweet. We just got out of seeing Wicked for Good. We're going to do a movie review, as always, 10 to 15 minutes on the movie. We will talk about what we liked, what we're mixed on, what we didn't like about the movie. We will score it, and we will rank it on our year for you as well.
Yes, sir.
And then we will ask the question we ask every time, which is...
Does it belong in the movieverse, multiverse, or does it belong in a forgotten timeline?
And we will tell you coming up here soon. Before we get started on our movie review for Wicked for Good, Kendrick, what do they need to do?
Guys, remember to like, subscribe, and follow. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Give us a like on TikTok. Follow us on TikTok. We're almost to 1,000. Get us there. We're on podcast platforms if you just want the audio. So specifically, Spotify, Apple, tons of other platforms. We're on Instagram, X, so anywhere you can think of. We're on Letterboxd, all that. So just make sure you check us out.
We need your support. We love your support, and we appreciate all of you. Let's get into it. Wicked for Good. Before we get started, just to remind you guys, or if you didn't know, our scores on Wicked Part 1. For me, my score was a 5 out of 5. One of my favorite movies of all time. Love it dearly. Kendrick?
Same here. We've both seen it multiple times. Ben's seen it a lot of times.
I've seen it. It's pretty close, I think.
Is it? Okay. I've seen it like 3. So
you've seen it more than 3.
No, I've seen it 3 times.
Because when it came out, you saw it twice.
I did?
And then you saw it in the stadium at Lavelle Edwards.
Yeah.
And then you saw it, it's about 4 times for you.
Okay, 4 times.
I've seen it like 8 times. So
yeah,
I've seen it more than him.
But it is both one of our favorite movies of all time. It's in our list of favorite movies of all time.
Amazing. An amazing movie. An amazing feat.
Amazing.
We love it. So this has been our most anticipated movie of the year this year.
Yeah.
Wicked for Good.
Yes.
One that I feel like both of us have just been really dying for because we got really connected to this story of Alphaba and Glinda.
Yeah.
Good versus evil, wicked, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So for Wicked for Good, this movie obviously takes right off of Defying Gravity, which is where Wicked Part 1 ends.
Yes.
And this is basically the fallout of Alphaba becoming the Wicked Witch, having to flee.
Glinda staying.
Yes, having to hide.
Yeah.
Glinda becomes Glinda the Good, basically.
Yeah.
Not quite yet at the beginning, but she's heading that direction.
Wizard of Oz comes in the middle of this, like Wizard of Oz movie comes into the timeline of this movie.
Yep. So that's where this movie comes in. Let's go into what we liked about the movie.
And should we tell people first off too, like we never really we weren't much into the musical before this.
True.
Like we knew songs and stuff, but it's not like I've known like 1 or 2.
I think I knew. I'd heard Defying Gravity many times, and then Popular sometimes.
Yeah.
So
and for Good a little, but it's like, So we're not like necessarily the knowledge base of the musicals. Like I think we both went into that first movie kind of blind to what the story is and everything, and we obviously came out loving it, and so we've gotten really connected to it now. But I think I want to caveat that just for anybody who's like, "Has these guys seen the musical?" We haven't seen the musical in like live action or anything. like that, so.
No, and that's good to say because I do think it gave us fresh eyes, though, for watching this as a movie rather than comparing it to the musical.
Yes.
Which I don't blame anybody for doing, obviously, but it helped us enjoy the movie a little bit more. And I will always vouch for people in saying that creatives should have the ability to be creative and do what they want with a story without having to be compared to other things.
I agree.
So as best as you can, I think you should always approach something like this.
Yeah.
Trying not to fully compare and just take it as it is and see what you think. But
yes.
Anything else?
No, I just wanted to caveat that.
No, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because it is good to know that we aren't like some musical wicked diehard people.
Yes.
We're just movie geeks. So
yes.
Good to say. Let's get into do you want to start with liked or do you want to start with?
We'll start with liked.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's tell people what we liked.
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I'll say definitely I like how it does feel like a sequel. It doesn't feel like it's going on a whole different journey. It doesn't feel like it's by another director or anything like that. Like I love that it's the same director. They filmed them back to back. It feels literally like you are still in the first film, which is a really cool thing.
That's a good point.
I don't like when sequels don't feel that way. And sometimes they don't when you bring in a new director or something like that. So I'm glad they stuck to everything staying the same, film it back to back. Boom. So that was perfect. So the visuals and all that are still top tier, and they still look just like they do in the first one.
The production's the same.
The production's
top tier.
Still top tier production. Costume design still top tier. Production is just amazing. Cynthia and Ariana are still GOATs in my opinion. Still deserve that Oscar nomination.
Oh yeah.
They're still obviously they know these characters well. I think they were both like born to play these movies, and they still kill it. And
I'll add to that. I want to say, like, with I think the Oscar nom thing, my thought, and I don't know about you, I do think just a teeny bit that I think part one gives a teeny bit more to their performances. Not in a drastic way or anything, but I do think their performances are a teeny bit better in part one just because there's a little bit more to do there.
Yes.
But like they didn't get the Oscars in part one, and I was livid for that. I know Kendrick was too. Yeah. It pissed me off because I think that they were the best performances in the female categories last year. I agree. So they have to win this year. I will be up in arms if the Academy doesn't give them Oscars.
They are the best of this year for actresses, 100%.
Oh yeah, totally. So, and they were last year too.
Yeah.
And even if it's questionable, because I think there will be a couple coming up here that we see that may be in contending for it with them. Yeah. I still feel like you got to take into account part one and part two.
You do.
And you got to just be like, hey, they deserve these awards.
Yeah.
If you go 2 years with either of them not receiving an Oscar for these movies, I think that's travesty.
I completely agree.
So definitely loved that about this movie as well.
Yeah. So they're still great. Songs are still great in this.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite as strong as the first movies, but that's hard because the first movie has all the hits.
Well, I think you said something in our out of theater reaction that I really liked. You said that you feel like in a part one and in a musical, you have to really hit a lot of categories and a lot of things, and you have to hit hard because you got to get people interested.
Yes, which they did.
And I think that's why part one has so much
part
music.
One has so much like the songs and they're the songs that really hit. This one's obviously, we have even some new songs that they made for it. Mm-hmm. We have songs that maybe aren't quite as known. Although I still loved every single song in it. And so the songs are still great. And I will say For Good is amazing. That was the one I was most excited for. That still is my favorite of all the Wicked songs. Yeah. And so I was really happy to get it and say that it was fantastic and amazing.
Was it one of your favorite scenes of all time?
It was one of my favorite scenes of both movies. 100% of all time, yeah.
I'll tell you one cool thing, guys, about about the For Good sequence was the whole movie, whenever a big banger hit, everybody was clapping, applause.
Sick.
And I haven't been in a theater like that where throughout the movie you were getting multiple applauses. Totally. It was super cool. Sick. The For Good song played, and there were no claps, and I was waiting for it, but I think it was because everybody was so emotional. That scene is done so well.
Yeah, it just leaves you somber.
Yeah, I don't know if I've cried that much in a theater in a while. Yeah, it was.
But no, even in No Good Deed Goes Unpunished, I was ready to also do that too.
Did everybody clap for that one?
There's a lot I was ready to clap for. So, yeah, production even on the songs is still amazing.
Top tier. Holy cow.
And they obviously still perform the songs perfectly. Cynthia and Ariana.
Like No Good Deeds sequence when it comes from a production standpoint,
visually amazing.
Yeah.
So that's still here, and I think there's still a lot of beautiful things in this movie. I think the first one does capitalize a lot on its messages and beautiful themes. I think the first one encapsulates that perfectly. This one does a great job too. I think specifically with how we are wrapping up everything, and especially between Galinda and Elphaba, it's like their relationship is just perfect in this. And I love the themes that get hit there.
And they don't miss a beat. And that's one thing that I think helps when you film something back to back is that you don't miss a beat. The characters feel like they have just gone through the Defying Gravity sequence, which I think is perfect and beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the acting in this even better.
Yes.
Because it does really feel like that trauma from the Defying Gravity sequence is really living inside of both of them still.
Totally.
Very heavily.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, it feels like I feel revenge, but then I feel like I see guilt in it, and I see shame, and I see still fighting for what's right. Like all the themes are still really, really good in it.
Fiero's a dog.
Fiero is a dog.
I'm straight, but that man he's a good looking dude, man.
Yeah, I could just feel in the crowd. Like I didn't have to look. I could just feel that people were like feeling something with him.
Yeah.
Especially in the scenes with Elphaba, you're kind of like.
There's a lot of that in the part one, but there's something about this one where he was a little bit
locked in.
Yeah,
I think they're locked in on him. So that's funny. Yeah, he's got a lot of aura.
If they needed to bring people back to the screen, it just put Fiero's face on the screen.
Yes.
At the theater felt there was like a certain feeling in the theater when Fiero was on screen.
Totally. So. And then I will say, I think everything they did with the Wizard of Oz specifically, like as far as if you are a Wizard of Oz fan and everything like that, I think they did it great. Like they all looked great. I think they
Not showing Dorothy's a
not
very
showing
good
Dorothy
thing.
was good, so it almost it doesn't feel like it's taking over quite as much. And I think that like it was like a good way to pay tribute to that, I will say, without it being too much of the main focus, thankfully. In some parts, but we'll get to that later. But there was something else I was gonna say, but just overall
around the Wizard.
I know I was gonna say Wizard was good too. Jeff Goldblum
I was
funny.
wondering what you were gonna say, so go ahead.
My thing was I was just gonna say, just as overall, like, great, just a finale. Like, it definitely knows how to close things out, and I'm glad that it ends in a way that I think is perfectly ended, and that is a top tier ending. To have it go the way it goes.
Couldn't have ended it better.
You could not have.
The movie does it perfectly.
It ends it in such a poetic, beautiful, deep way.
Yes.
And it's so, like...
I'm getting chills thinking about it.
Yeah, it's chills and it's tear-jerking. Like, they definitely wrap it all up good. And this movie, like, the whole time you're just feeling that conclusion feeling. If I was feeling the feeling, like, when I watch a series finale or when I watch
that's a good...
When I saw, like, Deathly Hallows Part 2, like, all these final movies and sagas, like, it's that feeling. And it's kind of a bittersweet feeling in a way. I felt that during the movie.
It's like an ending. It's like a conclusion to a story that you're really
just seeing a lot of
to.
epicness. You're seeing a lot of just, all right, things are going to all close. Here's how the chapters close. That's really what's fun about this one. Whereas the first one, it's like the introduction to everything, right? It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of funny and also deep and everything, but it's like introducing everything. They're in school. This one, I just feel like it's definitely more mature, and it's more just like, boom, like, we're wrapping this up. This is the end, So I thought that was pretty beautiful that they captured that. So those are the things I really liked. What did you like?
I mean, I've been kind of just throwing them in there with you.
That's true, yeah.
I think... Alphaba, Galinda, or Alphaba and Galinda, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana are just picture perfect for these roles, man. They were born for it, and they really move the screen. No Good Deeds, amazing top tier sequence. For Good, amazing sequence.
Yes.
The story is just a really painful story, but in a really touching way. They found a way to make it feel good, but it is still very painful. You get like both perspectives are painful, but both also know different things about the situation. It's touching.
Totally.
And they found a way to cap off the story in such a perfect way, for sure.
Totally. Could have said better.
I'm trying to think. And then I was just going to say the Wizard, I think obviously in part one, you don't get much of the Wizard because he doesn't get introduced until the end. And Jeff Goldblum kills the screen time he gets in the first one. But they gave him more time, obviously, in this movie. Not too much, but he's obviously got a bigger part. And he's got one sequence with a song that's like great. Like, I love it.
Really fun.
Really goofy. It just fits him.
Yeah.
And it's great. Like, it's really
he's
fun.
Great for that role.
Yes. So
he just brings us some good comedy, actually.
He does.
Without being too comedic. Like,
So I got to give him a shout out too, because I think he was good as well.
I agree.
Let's get into what we're mixed on. I can start. Literally the only thing that holds this movie back just a teeny bit for me is the beginning. I think the best way I can describe it, Kendrick, is that the beginning feels like it's the middle of a movie, because it really is the middle of the story. That's the thing.
That's very
so
right.
It doesn't feel like the beginning of a movie.
Pick up right where we left off.
You're picking up where you left off, and because it's kind of feels like it's in a second act in a way. You're getting a lot of checked boxes going on. Like, one, they have to introduce some of the Wizard of Oz stuff into this, and so they're checking off those boxes. So in the first 25 minutes, I will say one thing I could see people being mixed on, and one thing I was mixed on was I felt that box checking attitude of like, okay, we got to make sure certain things happen really quick so that we can get into the Alpha and Galinda stuff. And that's really what the first 25 minutes feels like. Still really good. It just, I was a little worried, honestly. In that 20 minutes, I was like, okay, we need to get me into Alpha and Galinda. Like, I'm missing the emotion from Defying Gravity. So it took a teeny bit. That's my only thing, like my only little doc is that first 25 minutes. And I get it, because they did need to check off those boxes.
Totally.
That's where I felt The Wizard of Oz halted this movie just a teeny bit. But then the rest of the movie, the Wizard of Oz stuff works perfectly. It flows perfectly into the movie. It's basically just everything they needed to get done with introducing Alphaba and Galinda's story again.
I mean, I totally agree. There's definitely nothing I dislike in this movie.
None. It's not a dislike thing. Just very mixed.
But I will say mixed. Like, I do feel mixed. Very double-edged sword. I was telling Ben about the Wizard of Oz plot, because on the one hand, I think they do the Wizard of Oz great. Like,
Yes.
it's done so well.
Better than the Wizard of Oz movie.
Better than the Wizard of Oz. It looks way better, of course. I mean, it's way newer, but still, like, it looks great. Yeah. Lion looks great. Tin Man looks great. All of that's great, and it's fun to see it sprinkled in through the story and how it intertwines. I love how that was connected in the story, because it's cool how Dorothy shows up and how that comes into light with the witch and with Elphaba and all that. Yeah, like all that is really cool. But then on the other side of that double-edged sword, it kind of feels like it does take away from the story sometimes, where I'm kind of almost like, I almost don't even want the Wizard of Oz plot to show up in here. Yeah. You're almost kind of like,
for me, it really is only the beginning. Was there another part of the movie where you felt that? Because for me, it was just the beginning where I felt that with the Wizard of Oz stuff. But.
I think, mostly in the beginning. I think everything with Nessa specifically, like, kind of took me out a little.
Which was really just the first 25 minutes.
Which is, the first, like, 25 minutes. And then I think, a lot of the times I just wanted to see more Ariana and more Cynthia than Wizard.
Correct, yeah.
Luckily, every Wizard scene is very fast, thankfully. And I'm glad they don't spend too much time on it. It does play a role to make sense with the story, but it does feel like things have to happen in order to keep the Wizard of Oz story correct and going. And that's something I didn't like.
Checking thing,
I didn't mind it. It's not that I didn't like it, but it was kind of mixed. It was just kind of like...
Just could feel the mixed feeling.
Yeah, it just kind of like took me out a little bit, where I'm like, hey, I can see why they had to do that, because it leads to this, and it leads to that, because we have to get this scene in Wizard of Oz, Exactly. And you're like, it has to follow this timeline so that it can mix with Wizard of Oz. Like, that's kind of where it just takes me out a little, because I'm so invested in this Wicked plot, especially from the first movie, where it's really, we get nothing Wizard of Oz like, really.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not trying to speak for you, but it's really just you're invested in Elphaba and Glinda.
I am, yes.
I think that's what it is. Like, you're invested in those two
everything we've been doing since this first movie. Yeah. So then to throw in Wizard of Oz, you're kind of like, all right, like, I guess I see why it's here, because, like, it's a story based on that, but it almost, it takes away a little bit for me. And so that's why the plot doesn't feel quite as strong to me as the first movie, just because the first movie doesn't have to do anything like that.
I would agree. No,
but like I said, it's really well done, so it kind of, it's kind of a double-edged sword.
That's why
so
it's mixed. Mixed category for sure.
Yeah, and then I don't.
Yeah, the only other thing I'd bring up for mixed is just that, and this is for some people and stuff. I'm just trying to think of mixed in general.
Yeah,
what
do you think?
But music, I think just, and this is something you should be expecting going into this movie. The music, it just isn't the music of the first one.
Yes.
Not in a bad way. That's
because they're still great songs.
But you're not getting these 15 minutes musical sequences. That's the thing
you're not getting like the big hits.
Yes.
Besides
like Defying Gravity, it's like 15 minutes long.
No Good Deed,
Popular, like all those are big.
And they're
No
iconic.
Good Deed is like a few minutes, For Good is the longest one. It's probably like 6 minutes. But like there's no like huge ginormous musical sequence like there is a few times in the part one. But that's just like the play, and that's the only thing. And then some of these songs, they're songs that work really well with the story. They're songs that flow into the story extremely well. They're beautiful. They're really well done. The songs that they added are really great. But it's just that's the only thing I would say. Like, it wasn't like the reason I wouldn't say I didn't like it or anything. It's like I loved it. Every song was great. Every song was beautiful. But if I'm looking at the general audience, there may be some people that are like, okay, part one was a little more enjoyable for me because there's just all these big hits.
Yes,
so
exactly.
That'd be the only other thing I could see people being mixed on.
I completely agree. It's just, it's like how I feel with Mamma Mia 2. It's like Mamma Mia 1 for me just had all the hits, and I'm like, dude, I know all these songs. And Mamma Mia 2, I was like, I don't really know much of these songs. They're not as special to me, kind of thing.
That's a good connection.
Even though I love both movies. So
like they both movies have like perfect songs, but the one just has better songs.
Exactly. Like I liked every song in Mamma Mia too, but it's just songs I won't ever really go back to outside of the ones from one. So
I see what you're saying.
I'd say I feel similar with this. Obviously
they are all great songs.
They're great. Would be happy to listen to them again, but I'm not necessarily as hooked to them as I am the first. And I agree. A lot of people that maybe are really into these songs will dig the first movie more with that.
I agree.
So yeah.
And then didn't like categories. Surprise, surprise. I would say there's nothing I didn't like. So
yeah, same. No, I was just mixed on that Wizard of Oz stuff and a little bit with the plot there. But besides that, it's still a fantastic finale.
In fact, I'll tell you, I walked out of Wicked Part 1 feeling very similar as I walked out of this one, where the beginning of Wicked Part 1, actually, it took about 25, so it's actually kind of funny. And I'm curious, I'm watching this again on Thursday, and I'm curious if on Thursday I will feel 5 out of 5 with the movie. Because when I watched Wicked the first time, I remember walking out of it feeling the exact same way, that everything until the Ozdust ballroom scene, I just wasn't quite connected with yet because I didn't really understand the direction of the story. And I feel like part of that could be relieved with this one as well. Like once I see it again, maybe knowing everything that's going on and how the movie plays out might help the first 25-30 minutes. I still think it's a weaker
I'm with
first
you there.
25 minutes than part one was, but I felt very similar walking out of both movies after first appearances on both movies. Like I did walk out of part one even having that same feeling of like, it took me a minute to get into that. It took me a minute to get locked in with everything going on.
Sure.
So I am curious on the second watch how I'll feel.
No, this deserves a rewatch, and I mean the first one did too. So I think we'll see how we feel after some watches. I plan to watch it again. You do too. Definitely happy to see it again for sure. So.
And that leads us right into our scores and ranking on the year.
Yeah, we haven't even put it on Letterboxd or anything. This is pretty fresh out of the theater, to be honest.
You're getting a live Letterboxd from us. If you want to pull it out,
I'm charging my phone.
That's right.
I know what it is though. Do you know
where
your
it
score?
ranks? I know my score.
Where it ranks? I don't know that yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll tell you. For as far as score goes, for me, as of right now, it's a 4.5 out of 5. There's just a teeny bit that leaves me from feeling 5 out of 5 on it that I need to see a second time for. That is similar to how I felt with Wicked. I do this a lot. I felt the same with Sinners. Sinners, the first time I watched it, gave it a 4.5. The second time, gave it a 5. Like sometimes it takes me a minute to really get into a movie. So
this is one I feel like we need to sit on a little too with our thoughts and feelings. I felt that way after the movie.
So I think that tells you though where I'm at. Like I'm right in that 4.5, 5 bubble. 4.5 out of 5 bubble. I'm right in that range. I just don't know exactly where I land yet.
Get it, bubble?
That's
because Glenda has a bubble in it.
The bubble's about to pop. But that is where I'm in that range. Definitely. So,
and I'm a 4.5 out of 5 as well. I'm with Ben there. It could change for sure. Like I'm open to it. The whole movie I'm debating between a 4.5 and 5. So that's a really good thing. Of course, I was hoping for a complete 100% 5 because like that's how I feel with the first one. But it's okay. I think I need some rewatches. I need to sit with it a little bit. That could change. And then if I had to rank it, I mean, it's for sure in my top 10. I have to think about where. It's probably in the top 5 to be honest. So
I was thinking
it will
about
still be
that.
one of the best of the year. So.
I know our top 4s are in no specific order. Our top 4s are Life of Chuck, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Fantastic Four. Yeah, those are both of our top 4s, just in different orders. And then I think 5 for me is Nazah 2. Yeah. Is that you as well?
I think so.
And then 6 I think might be Demon Slayer for you.
I think so, yeah.
And for me it's like The Accountant or something. Yeah. I definitely see this being right in the neck of the woods with Nazah 2 and like my 6. Like I see it being right around 5 and 4. Same. Or I mean 5 and 6. That's kind of where I see it.
I see it around 4 to 6 range. Like it could go above Fantastic Four, maybe somewhere around there.
If it hits that 5. Yeah.
So.
On a rewatch for sure. I'll have to see. Mm-hmm. I honestly don't like. I'll put it in my ranking when we get done with this review. But it's definitely not a solidified spot until I see it a second time.
For sure in our top 10, which is still great for the year.
Oh yeah, especially we're so far into the year too.
And I don't see it changing there.
We've seen over 100 movies, so to make a top 10 appearance is crazy in November.
Yeah. So then the big question.
Does this movie belong in the movie multiverse timeline, or do we want to place it on forgotten shelf? I'm definitely keeping this movie.
100% belongs in the movie multiverse timeline.
One of the things we were just talking about is how we both wanted to watch this back to back.
Totally. And I'm happy to say this is still a solid, great movie. You still should totally check it out in theaters. Highly recommended.
We need this to make $1 billion.
If you're a Wicked fan any sort of way, of course you're going to go see it. Of course.
And I'm hoping we need this to make $1 billion, guys. This deserves to be $1 billion movie because the first one deserved it and it made like $750 or $8. Yeah. We need this to hit. So
these
go
two
see
movies collectively are just on a goated tier.
Yeah.
And something very special. And I think one of the most special like cultural movie events we've gotten in a while. True. And I think it will go down as a very special double movie right there. Like it's
going to be special. You could totally feel it. I know it was like an early screening, but just everybody arriving at that theater.
Yeah, everyone
and everybody in the theater
walking out of it happy.
Yeah.
It's just a great story, and they killed it.
I will say
shout out to the cast and crew, everyone that killed it for these two movies.
Just remember theater etiquette sometimes. Sometimes people can get a little too...
Did something happen?
Just the people behind us, a couple moments I was like, okay.
Yeah, they had some comments about Jonathan Bailey.
I know. I was like, okay, simmer down. Simmer down, bro. Yeah, that's our review on Wicked for Good. Yep. As always, please share with us in the comments if you have seen it,
and
or if you're worried about. If you want us to answer any questions about it, go ahead and shoot them comments. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe.
Catch you guys.
We'll
later.
be posting more shorts and different clips about it.
Sir.
So, thank you for your support. We'll see you next week.
See you later.